what is really happening. Now, the finance ministry, now they are saying they cannot fund the activities of the government anymore. Bibia has come to a halt. A whole lot of things. The United States, even affected the military. Now the Congress is saying we can't fund your activities anymore. And the one I start say 1st of October and I shall I mean in church about as to why this particular occurrence United States of America. The both parties and so annual Kobenkrum as it stands now on the party and so kakra and now some of the citizens some of the congressmen and with this particular issue across the United States.
Guys, we got breaking news coming from the United States. The US government has shut down. The United States government, guys, has shut down. My goodness, things are happening. The empire is falling. Whether they like it or not, the empire is falling. And this is good news to all Pan-Africanists. As we speak right now, things are in total sham in the United States. Congress is shut down. Right? I mean, Congress is totally shut down, guys. It's crazy. Let me read a few points so you can understand exactly what's going on, okay? The full shutdown began after top Democrats and Republicans, including the President Donald Trump, failed to agree on a short-term deal to keep the government funded. To keep the government funded. Those guys don't have money to fund the government anymore. This is serious. Democrats led by Senator Chuck Schumer and Republican Hakeem Jeffries demand that any stopgap funding measures include an extension of enhanced Obamacare tax credit. Trump suggested Tuesday that his administration could take major actions during a shutdown, including cutting government benefits for large numbers of people. And the last point is the Senate is expected to vote again on dueling Republican Democratic funding proposals on Wednesday morning after both failed to pass in the last-ditch effort Tuesday night. The measures are still expected to fail. Guys, forget about all these big grammar, these big words that they are using here. The summary of everything here is that the United States is broke. They don't have money to fund their government. Why is this very interesting to Pan-Africanists? This is a clear proof to all those who are still sleeping, be it ignorant Africans, be it our leaders or so-called presidents and other African elites who still kiss the behind of these guys, whereas the guys are sinking at the speed of sound. We saw what's going on in Europe, and now we are seeing what is going on in America. These guys are drowning. I don't know why our leaders, why African presidents are still kissing the behind of these people. The truth of the matter is the global south is at the top of the world right now. Russia, China, and others are the ones leading affairs of the world right now. The new world order has revolved, guys. This is good news to Africa because for those who know, Russia, China never colonized any African country. They do not force you to do business with them. I mean, they do transparent business and make sure that it's a win-win. And that's the reason why the AES countries and other smart countries in Africa right now are creating new alliances with Russia, China for their businesses. How I wish other African leaders can wake up while it is still time. This is the time. The time has never been right like the days we are living in today for Africa to finally break loose. And finally, to our African American brothers, those who truly know that their roots are from Africa, do not bother about whatever happens. We want you to know that true Pan-Africanists, true Africans who know that you are our brothers and our sisters, your place is always going to be home. Just like a lot of African Americans have been coming back home to find their roots and set up businesses back home. We want you to know that true Africans know that you are our brothers and sisters. And your place is always going to be home. At any time you want to visit, you are welcome. Thank you so much, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and see you in my next one. The US, the United States, man, they are in trouble.
Welcome to day one of a U.S. government shutdown. There is no plan and no deal to reopen it anytime soon. So for those of you who are new to this, welcome to the party. Don't worry, I'm going to explain what comes next and how this is going to impact you. And for those of you who have been through this before, you also need to be paying attention to this video, because this shutdown is unlike any other shutdown that any of us have seen in the past. Of course, the politics around this is messy, and I will address that if you want in a totally separate video. But in this video, I just want to give you the nuts and bolts of what is going to happen. Okay, so officially the U.S. government shut down at 12:01 a.m. this morning, October 1st. That means all non-essential government workers have been furloughed, and non-essential government agencies and departments have all been closed. According to the White House, that means up to about 750,000 federal employees are going to be off the job. As for federal agencies and departments that are considered essential, they are still open. However, the essential federal workers at those agencies and departments must show up to work, and they will not be paid until the government reopens. Now, put a pin in that idea for a second, because we're going to come back to it, and this little tidbit is going to impact you. It's super important. But before we get there, let's talk about what are considered some key essential agencies and departments that are staying open. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, veterans benefits, military operations, federal law enforcement, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, and air traffic control. They will all stay open. The essential government employees who work at those agencies will all have to show up, but they will not be paid. A general rule of thumb is the shorter the government shutdown lasts, the less impact it will have on everyday Americans, and the longer it lasts, the more it will impact you. Of course, it impacts every federal worker immediately, but for everyone else, if this shutdown is just a few days, it shouldn't really disrupt your life. But if it lasts for more than a week, you're going to start to see some problems. Now, for the record, the last government shutdown we had was in 2018 into 2019 during the first Trump administration. That was the longest shutdown we've seen in like 40 years, and it lasted for 35 days. And those 35 days are what leads me back to this idea I told you to put a pin in. Remember, I said these essential workers have to go to work and they won't get paid until the government opens back up. Well, during the last government shutdown, that was 35 days. That's a long time, and it basically boils down to missing 2 paychecks. So put yourself in the shoes of these essential government workers. What if your employer said, yeah, I need you to come to work, but I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to give you a paycheck, but you still need to do your job? What happens to your bills? Do you think your landlord would just waive your rent for that month? What about your electric bill? How about your cell phone bill? See, it's a problem. Now, what happened last time was federal workers at TSA, for example, put up with the showing up to work without a paycheck for the first few days and weeks. But by the end, they were like, if you're not going to pay me, I'm just not going to show up anymore. So they started to call in sick to work, which trickled down to air travelers who were facing huge lines at the security checkpoints because lots of the TSA officers just called out sick. Now, here's another example. Remember, I said Social Security is considered essential. So yes, you will get your Social Security check. However, some of the Social Security support staff at the Social Security offices are considered non-essential, so they are furloughed. That means if you want to process perhaps a new Social Security or disability claim, or if you have questions about your benefits, getting those answers will start to become very difficult as this shutdown drags on. As for SNAP benefits, those will continue for now. But if this shutdown lasts past the month of October, they may not. One more example I know will impact a lot of you. The Department of Education is furloughing about 80% of its staff. And that's on top of all of the firings we saw earlier this year. So it's slim over there already. So yes, you will still get your student aid disbursement through your Pell Grant or federal direct student loans. And yes, you can still apply to FAFSA, but you will not be able to get any kind of new grant award. And if you have questions about your student loans, answers for those questions are going to become very